So we are here for the 2026 National Collegiate Women's Gymnastics Championships. There's two semifinals. Both are on ESPN2. Before, the semifinals used to be on ESPN2 and the final was on ESPN2. Now it is. ABC has the National Championship semifinals on ESPN2. I think they have mandatory ESPN requirements for certain championships, like that certain ones. I know before they had FCS on ESPN or ABC. That used to be on ESPN2. Then they had it on ESPN2 for the last time. Then they have it on ABC. Then they moved it to ESPN. And to get the Monday night time slot, the better time slot, instead of having like Sunday during like NFL, or so, or maybe Saturday during Saturday before NFL, maybe it kind of was, might not have been the best time slot, but I know they have other slots, like they have NCAA, the Gymnastics Championship, the Women's Basketball Championship on there. The Women's Volleyball Championship is on ABC. So, they do have a few championships on televised network on ABC. And then they could have, they could have a few others maybe, but I know they have part of the NCAA softball championships on there, and the baseball championships. They have part of that on there. Not every one, but they have part of it on there. So that's awesome. I know on ABC they do have on ESPN. ABC they don't really show college basketball on ABC. They really don't. They more show like college. And then now the college football championship is on ABC. The national championship game is. They're moving that to ABC at the FBS level. So, it's they're simulcast on ABC. So, or ABC simulcast having that in ESPN, simulcast basically. So, on both. So, I kind of like that, that they have, and then they have more popular gymnastics meets when ABC has them, like the Sprouts Farmers Market Classic. They have that on when they have session 2 on ESPN2 at nighttime. For in favor of like basketball or NBA or NHL at night. They'll have that on there. So, which is nice. I like that. I kind of like that. That it might be mandatory on ESPN's. Then the deal. That is like awesome. They are. It's like a huge win to have like the Women's Basketball Championship on during mid-afternoon on ABC. That's a win. That's like a win. Like the men can't even secure that. I know why. Because the men, they pay TBS, TNT, True TV, and that they pay like Turner Sports pays like tons of money for that, and then CBS for their little deal. Yeah, they used to have the whole championships on there. The whole entire one. But it was regionalized, And then I even do remember that CBS used to actually have the championship as well in the Final Four every year. Even so, after that, they quit doing that. Now they moved to and they would still be like the backups of like if like stuff came on, like president was talking or some really important like news thing. that they had to cut, that every channel cut out for, pretty much. It would cut out for, so, so. But other than that, but yeah, the men can't even secure that, The men might be able to now if they have with Turner. And they're like, they're basically said, we're taking this over. NCAA wouldn't say no, I know they wouldn't. Say no. But the women's basketball championship outdraws the men. Even when the men are in CBS, the men are in CBS, in that same exact year, I think it was like last year 2025 was in CBS, and the women's basketball championship outdrew the men, which is like, yeah, it's like no surprise. You have the men's players like one and done. I think it's a part of also, like the men's players being one and done in men's basketball. Not all of them, obviously, just like the big time stars. Like this year you have like Lauren Betts, you have Gabrielle Hawkes, you have Julissa Walker, you have Kiki Rice. You got all of them. You got Tessa Johnson. You got who else? You got AZ Photos competing in there. Who else for Texas? Gosh. But you had all of them. You basically have like 4-year players. Like the men's side, like 1 year, it's like that ain't no fun. Like, come on. Yeah, would it be yes to have the same one and done parity as the women, as the men? Would it be awesome? I kind of don't want that, actually. I'm actually kind of glad, men's basketball is kind of some bonehead stuff, like, really, like pointless. Yeah, I think it kind of taints the viewership. So, they also have, even like them, even the announcers and stuff like that, and people covering college basketball time, they're like the 20-minute per half. It's like even the announcers, most of them, the analysts, and why are we still doing the 20 minutes? We're the only league in the whole world, even on women's basketball. The WNBA used to do that, and then the men, and college basketball used to do that. It's like for the women, it's like even they went away from it. It's like, you know what that is. But anyways, I like that, that the championships are in there, and I love that, I love that, that's all, but yeah, I know I'm going off on basketball, but come on, who can you not root for, like these amazing teams, Madison Booker, it was for Texas, one. How can you not root for all these amazing women, all these amazing young women, competing, in women's basketball, gymnastics, all these women's sports, in college? How can you not root for them, especially just how can you not, all these feel good stories for team, especially women's basketball, all the feel good. They have feel good stories in gymnastics too. Don't get me wrong, but basketball really has them. You already hear about them, or it's awesome. Especially Lauren Betts after what she went through. Her life went through mental health struggles, and she being a mental health advocate for the youth, that is like awesome, you know, and then kind of being bullied because of her voice, which is like unfortunate, People are doing that still in this day and age, but you know, it's awesome, just not caring what anyone else thinks, besides like her family, friends, teammates, and then you get all the people that support her, all her fans are actually the true supporters of her. She's good at tuning out that, which is awesome. That takes some courage, that takes courage. You think it's easy, and I'm not gonna look at all the hateful, especially the hateful comments in social media. I think it's easy, but it's not as easy as it looks. Though it's not as easy as it looks. I mean, it's not. But back to the matter at hand. You know, uh, back to matter at hand. Like that's just think about, man. That's tough. It's heartbreak. But let's get back. But we gotta get back to matter at hand now. We got Oklahoma with a 198.35. Arkansas advances with a 197.45. Oklahoma does beat their second round score with a 198.75. And Arkansas best theirs. So Missouri and Ohio State out. UCLA bettered their score with a 197.725. Minnesota, actually the lowest score, 197.6. 196.97, but they actually advanced in the second spot, 197.625. Alabama, UCLA. They did have some falls, Alabama and UCLA, or Utah. Alabama, Utah had some big falls, A lot of them times they were making mistakes, like big step backs, like 9.7s, like maybe instead of like a 9.8, 9.9, they're getting like a 9.7, I've seen, there's plenty of them I've seen. They could have got like a 9.9, they got like a 9.8, or they got like a 9.7, like 9.7 something, 7.9.8 something. They were like getting like a tenth of a point knocked off, like a tenth or two, and then they would get some falls. Big falls where they actually just fall, sit on the mat, end up sitting on the mat, because they fell. So Minnesota sneaks in because of it. But Minnesota did have some excellent routine. They did not have any like perfect routines, but they had some really solid routines, like some 9.9s and 9.975. As they did. They had some really solid routines, but they were just did not get any perfect routines, but they just got really solid routines. And it's just like you don't need to get like tens, but but it helps, but just sticking a routine, being a solid, just not falling on routines, you know. They're going big, go home, but just you know, it's just not. You just don't need to necessarily go for it. If you're able to go for it, if you go for it and you get it, that's good. But you don't need to be super considerate. You don't need to be so aggressive with it. You make mistakes. And Minnesota just did their game of gymnastics, their style of gymnastics, and they win. So we have semifinal one, which is LSU, LSU Tigers of the SEC, Stanford Cardinal of the ACC, and then the Florida Gators, and the Georgia Bulldogs of the SEC. Semifinal one, or in the one semifinal on the right side, left semifinal. It's going to be Oklahoma Sooners of the SEC, or some Razorbacks of the SEC, and then the UCLA Bruins and Minnesota Gophers of the Big Ten. I would think. No, I'm actually not sure which semifinal is going to be. I would think though the first semifinal, the LSU Stanford Florida Georgia semifinal, would be the first one because they were a day earlier in regional finals. I would think, but we'll see. But we will see.